Welcome back, family. This lesson is going to be focused on consultants and experts and why and how you should hire them. And so the objective of today's lesson is to teach you how to be the expert at hiring experts and for you to understand the value of having experts on your team. All right, and so our focus today in this lesson is going to be on consultants, right? So consultants, experts, advisors, those who will be members of your executive team, your advisory boards, who will help you and aid you and guide you in building out this business model and this business that will be hopefully a major asset for your family and for your legacy. And so we're going to break this down. First and foremost, let's talk about what it means to consult, right? And have a consultation. And what it means is to seek information or advice from an expert in a particular field or area, right? Someone that has the expertise, someone that knows a specific knowledge base well or has done it before. So to get a consultation really is to seek out and get that advice, and just not any old advice. I mean, I think the key is from an expert or someone with expertise or experience in a particular field. And I think these are the big words, an expert and it being particular. So it's not about just seeking general advice based on common sense. General advice because someone loves you, wants to see you do well, but they have no expertise or experience in a particular field or the field in which you are seeking consultation in. And for many of us, I think that we get too many outside-in opinions and we don't focus on truly getting expertise and advice from those who really have the knowledge base, who really been there before, and who can really share critical and specialized knowledge with us based on their, again, expertise or experiences. And so I want you guys to be very, very intentional about that, during your journey. And so we want to talk about, our goal in JMA and one of our philosophies throughout, and it really, really works, is to be the expert at hiring experts. Right? And so in being that expert, and we're going to go over some hiring practices later on, like what you got to do to really interview and vet and to onboard, right? These experts, like how do you even bring them on your team in a legitimate way? But in hiring these experts, you have to adopt the philosophy, you got to get rid of ego and pride, that you don't know everything and that you don't do everything well. And none of us do. And you got to really figure out what things do I do the best, what things do I do well, and in what areas do I see the most gaps, the most deficiencies, or where I need the most help. So when it comes into what experts should I seek for information, should I consult with, is first identify, right, ID your own gaps, weaknesses, right? Deficiencies within your business, within your personal skill set, right? Your business, your team, your vision, your business model, etc. And really be honest with yourself about that so that you can, continue to grow and to evolve. So I think this is a great opportunity and a great lesson to talk about something I promised you guys earlier in the course, which was in entrepreneurship, the spirit of entrepreneurship, how do you perform at the highest level? And I think as you approach your consultants and that team, and you being the best business owner, CEO, and visionary and leader for your organization, there's 4 things that you must embody. And I think it's a great way for, again, how you look at figuring out who you really need on your team out of all the experts in the world, because there's so many different niche areas. And so There's something we talked about and that we teach and that we want you to embody for life. I want you guys like to tell your kids and your kids this. It should be like a thing we do. It should be part of our core values and our ideology. And what we call this is our 4 E's, right? These are our 4 E's of excellence, right? And so in our 4 E's of excellence, this is the way that you really can start to perform at a high level, continue to mature, continue to grow as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. It's something where your staff and those around you can continue to grow and evolve and mature. And again, this is a way to identify what is missing within your organization or from your personal skill set, so you then can work backwards and seek advice, to seek information, to seek consultation from those who do this, whatever these things are, better than you. So here's how you identify what it is you don't do well and how to fill those gaps, right? So the first thing is to purely evaluate. When I say purely, the biggest part I want to say is honestly evaluate. Honestly evaluate what it is you do well, what your skill set is, what's going great about your product, service, good, or initiative, what's going great about your business, but honestly pinpoint what's not so great. If your bookkeeping and accounting is screwed up, don't hide it to seem like the perfect business owner. No, let's identify it so that we can hire to it. Don't hide it, hire to it, right? So let's write that down, right? When we find out our mistakes, our gaps, and our deficiencies, right? Don't hide them, hire to them. Which is why you'll often see me joke about, just things that I don't do well. There's no ego, there's no pride, there's no we are mature, grown adults. And for those of you who may be watching this who are growing, maturing adults or teens, etc., this is what you want to grow into, is being able to honestly evaluate yourself and just say, you know what, I don't do this. I don't speak well in front of the cameras. I mean, honestly, I do, but some people don't. But I know what I do well. I know what I don't do well, right? If you're not a great writer, if you aren't good at marketing, if you're not good at technology, listen, I have built, as I told you earlier in our course, 3 multi-million-dollar companies. I've built 2 8-figure businesses in the last 5 years. Our company just signed our first 9-figure deal just a few days ago, right? So I'm continuously doing business at a very, very high level, but I don't own a laptop. I have a desktop at home that has so much dust. Well, actually it doesn't have dust because I have a housekeeper, but it would if she wasn't there, because I don't touch it, right? It's just stuff piled around my desktop all over. It's just stuff, and it doesn't get used. I don't use a laptop. I don't use my iPad. I have all the devices, because they're cool to have, but I have literally built these businesses from my cell phone. I am not a super techie person. I'm not a technology buff. I could really care less. So I could use PowerPoints. We could digitalize all this stuff, but I just don't care to, just not my thing. And so I hire technology experts because that's not my field. So you being as honest about your strengths and weaknesses as possible without no pride, without any ego, is going to be one of the best things for your business. Because now when you know what you do well, you don't got to hire that. You can save that money. When you know what you don't do well, you need to consult, seek advice, information, and hire to that. And that's how you build a strong organization. It's just being honest with yourself. But many of us, even as an individual, outside, obviously it's a business course, so I want to focus there. But even in your personal life, if you were to evaluate who's around you, what's around you, your growth, whoever you say you want to be. If you want to be a speaker, you want to be an author, right? Well, what great things about you make you an author? Is it because you're a great writer? No, yes. Or is it because you have a great story? Or because you're a great visionary? Or because you just read a lot of books, you know how books should look, right? So just answer yourself. And then once you find out that, you eliminate. We evaluate and then we eliminate. And so we eliminate the person, the people, places, things, the habits that we have that prevent us from being on our A game. And not only do we eliminate all the negative things, we then infuse and hire to all the things that we need to patch those holes. So you evaluate, you eliminate, become a better you, eliminate the bad habits, eliminate you participating in parts of your business where you have no business because you're not good at it, or you allow staff, or you eliminate staff's opportunity. Hey, if you're my video guy and you think you're good at graphic design, but you really suck, there's no reason for us to have you over there. We need to eliminate you participating in that particular function of our business, right? So you evaluate, you eliminate, which allows you then to evolve, right? Meaning grow, to mature, to transcend, right? So you evaluate, you eliminate, you grow, evolve, transcend into this new you, or this new function of business, right? And all you do is whatever gaps that you see, you eliminate you from the equation, and then you introduce whomever you need, right? And you hire to whatever you need to be more functional in that business, and then you execute. Meaning you live out, you walk out this new system, this new model, this new you. That's how you consistently grow in your business. So if you as an entrepreneur cannot be honest about where your strengths are and where the strengths are in your business, or even your good or service, if your product is not that good, if you created a course that's not that good, if you're a trainer and your training program is not that good, the response really isn't that good, don't outward look and say the customer's crazy. Maybe you're just not that good. Maybe you need to bring in someone to help you build out a better training module. Or maybe you need to bring in a ghostwriter for your book because you're not that good of a writer. Or you want to hire in a graphic designer. Or maybe if your record keeping or bookkeeping is not that good for your financials, you probably aren't going to be one of the best people to, be able to advise clients on such. So you need to bring people in to handle that, right? And so here's how, now that we know the mindset of what makes us a good entrepreneur in that space, let's talk about who are some of the, and we talked about why we need it, right? Why we need it so our business can grow, it can be healthy, and it can thrive. Without consultations, without experts, without access to those who have been there, done that before, to those who have the experience and expertise. So those 2 E's are very important. We just learned 4 E's, but they're rooted in how we find those around us with experience and expertise that can help our business excel, right? So that's what we want to find, is experience and expertise to help our business excel. And so here's a little bit in an acronym we can use, very easy one, to figure out who it is we need in our team as we evaluate and figure out how well, right, or how strong is our organization and our staff in these particular components. So we look at the word consult. So first and foremost in consult, and we're talking about experts here, the first and foremost is your coach, right? So many business owners or entrepreneurs get into business without any business coach or business mentor. I think you can cut up to 70% of your learning curve by simply hiring an adequate business coach. Someone who knows models, who knows systems, who knows automation, who knows finances, who knows hiring, firing, process, procedures, personnel, protocols, like who knows the business like that. And then you don't have to go bumping your head and trying to figure it all out and piece it all together. You could just get right to it. Having a business coach or mentor is so critical in regards to you being able to scale your business. I've watched literally my business triple. And if I were to look at it technically, probably quadruple or better from the time that I brought in and started listening to a business coach. Now, if you're not coachable, which I wasn't in the beginning, my coach several years ago took an audit and inventory of my businesses. And he said, you know what? You're a rock star. You are truly a superstar. You have a great business model. But let me tell you, there's some gaps in your personnel, and here's what they are. And I said, I heard them, but I didn't want to hear them. And I'm like, you don't know my business. You don't know my folks. These are my day ones. These are people who are loyal to me. These people are good people. These people like I'm riding with, right? And he's just looking at it as your coach should, he or she, looking out for your best interests and just being very honest and neutral about what it is they see on your chessboard. He actually befriended and liked personally the folks in my organization, but he saw that for where I wanted to go, where I said my big, hairy, audacious goals were, that the personnel that I had with me did not have the experience or expertise to help my business excel. Were they good people? Yes. Were many of them loyal? Yes. Were they energetic? Yes. Were they focused? Yes. Did they outwork the work? Yes. But were they experienced? No. Were they experts? No. Were they able to help my business excel at the level that it could have or should have? They were not. But I was not coachable. I didn't listen to my business coach because I want to listen to my inner logic or my inner emotions, right? And I hung on to several people for quite a bit longer than I should have, which severely caused my business almost to collapse. And then because I watched my baby starving, my baby meaning my business, and meaning that it almost collapsed, that forced me to make some very tough decisions on what I was going to do about my business. And so I ended up listening, and it ended up working. And we had the same conversation a couple years later about some personnel getting to, remember, your business can only go to the heights and levels that as a talent in your organization and the experience, expertise in your organization. And it's very, very hard when you're dealing with people you like and you love and emotions and business, to let people go or to downsize or to change talent and staff. But if you are not willing and able, you're not mature enough as a business owner to make those tough decisions as an entrepreneur, your baby, your business model, your products, your goods, your service, your customers, your legacy will suffer because of those tough decisions you're not willing to make. And that's just part of the cost you pay to be the boss, right? So you got to make those tough decisions, but you got to be coachable. There's no point in hiring a business coach or mentor if you're not going to listen. You should obviously, we'll talk about how you interview that person. It should be someone you trust. But once you built that trust and that rapport and relationship, it should be someone that you trust enough to listen to and just, really move on how they say you should move. All right. And so we talked about the coach piece. Then our second O in our consultant, yep, my favorite, outside the coach, because coaches will get you there, is operations. Is if you are not an organizational mastermind, if you're not an operational mastermind, if you're not a great project manager, right? These are some of the skills you should look for in an operations person, right? Is organizational skills, right? Someone, that can manage, someone that understands systems and processes. And if that's not you, you may want to hire that organizational person, right? Someone that can organize, that can manage, that can create your systems, your process, your procedures, that can, document and really be looking at, focus on the day-to-day of the business as you are the visionary looking at the future success of your organization, right? From your coaching perspective, again, it should be about someone you trust, someone that has experience, expertise, someone that can communicate well to you. They show some level of care and concern for you and your business. And somebody's going to be honest with you. Honest and hold you to the fire. Because as the boss, it's really tough when you can make all your own decisions. And again, my coach would give me recommendations. I could say, the hell what you said. I'm the boss. I'm going to do what I want. But, he'll give me that look. And then he'll bring it up later. When I'm wrong, he'll remind me about how he told me what to do and how I didn't listen and how I was wrong. He'll make sure that I know about that a few times before it's all said and done, right? So you want to look at a coach that can, bring that value to you and who's been successful, right, in business or whatever it is you want that coach. You can have a coach, specifically for business in general. You can have a coach specifically for marketing, a coach for finances, a coach for technology, a coach for or consultant in those different areas. But again, I think a general business coach, as you are a general businessman or businesswoman, will be certainly helpful for you. And so then we get into our end piece, which is a little broken up for us. And our N is our experts. So we're going to start with an F here and an I here. And we're going to make an A out of this. And the financial experts, right? So the N is the N in financial experts. This will consist of your accountant, tax strategist, which may or may not be the same thing, bookkeeper. Bookkeeper is like one of the few words I know how to spell because I have to deal with so many bookkeepers. And it's just one of the few words in the English language that has 3 double letters, if you didn't know. 2 O's, 2 K's, 2 E's. So your accountant, tax strategist, and bookkeeper all make up kind of your financial team. Your bookkeeper pretty much is just data entry, but there is a certain skill to how they categorize your expenses and your income. And that's all about look at the profit and loss, or, again, the profits and revenue you make and the losses, expenses you take in your business, which is called your P&L, profit and loss statement. But that information and data will help your tax strategist and your accountant give you the best, tax strategy and accounting practices to benefit your business and you as an entrepreneur, right? And so if all that is like gibberish to you, you definitely want to look into financial consultants, financial experts, right? These are the folks that are going to help you structure, again, your financial projections of your business, the financial analyses of your business, to look at the day-to-day income of your business, the weekly revenue or loss of your business, the monthly revenue, the quarterly revenue, right? And the annual revenue and trends of your business. And they'll be the ones that advise you on, again, different tax strategies to how you look at business profits, business losses, other taxable tax opportunities based on your location, based on your partnerships, the type of company you have. All those things you'll find, again, and be advised on through your financial experts. So those are very, very key. If you're not great in that area or don't have that in your business, you need to hire to it, right? And so then our S. I already know what the S is. S is the dollar sign. S is the sales. Sales consultant, sales strategist. If, whether you've run a business before or this is one of your first times out the gate, you do want to look at, there are experts in sales, looking at different ways that your business creates revenue, right? The revenue sources, and looking at the strategies in which you penetrate the market to, again, increase profitability, increase revenue, and increase sales. And so if you do not have a sales manager, a sales specialist, a sales strategist, a sales consultant, you may want to look at whether it's hiring full-time on your team or sitting down for an hourly consultation, or seeing if your business coach has any sales experience, but really look at what if it's not your strength. If you know you have a tough time market or pitching someone for a sale, asking for money, or propositioning a barter or money, if that's not you, then you want somebody who has no problem saying, I got this marker, do you got $3? I got some air, do you got some bucks? I got some water, do you got some pesos? Do you got some fiat, some currency, some cash, some capital, some money, some moolah? What do you have? Our business needs some revenue. So if you're not that person that's going to be aggressive and assertive in sales, you certainly want to make sure that you got someone on your team that can be that, fill in that gap, right? Evaluate, eliminate. Eliminate yourself from the equation if it ain't you, all right? And so then we have our UP portion, which I do also remember. The U is going to be our U in, it's a C. Communications. Communications, right, and marketing. How you announce yourself to the world, how you interact with other businesses, how you interact with media, with PR. How is your business communicated in the world, visually, digitally, through blogs, written articles, all that. So if you are not a communications and marketing expert, again, this is a field in which you want to hire to. You want to make sure you have the proficient and adequate experts in the field of communications and marketing, whether it be a public relations company, whether it be a marketing director, a creative director, brand strategist, right? There's so many layers to marketing, but this is what you want to become knowledgeable, proficient of if you don't have it. So I'll just write down a few for you, things that you'll consider. And we have a whole team building lesson we're still going to get to. This is kind of like, again, the higher level as you're building your business, looking to build your business plan soon, identified your business model, you've done your research. So like when you look at this course, we're really walking you through almost the steps that you need to walk into and to be knowledgeable of, to at the end of the day have a sufficient, or at least a sufficient knowledge base. And if you're applying that education and knowledge base, a sufficient and proficient business infrastructure, right, and foundation that you can certainly grow off of, and how to analyze that business, scale that business, and one day, once it's profitable, exit that business, right? Or learn from the mistakes of that business if it's not, to create the next business and do it the same way, but even better, right? So that's what you're learning so far in this course. And so from this, from a communications and marketing standpoint, you're going to look at, again, this could be a marketing director. This can be a public relations company, or it's called PR firm or public relations firm. This could be a brand strategist. Right? This could be a chief marketing officer or CMO. All those functions, and even under the financial piece, you may have a CFO, chief financial officer, who also could be the person you're looking for. Another name and term we use is treasurer as well, depending on what kind of company you have. So those are some of the terms, you guys. Again, it's all terms, it's all verbiage. You can look up the differences between all of these. They're very synonymous, there's overlap, but then some of them have specific little niche functions and experiences. But these are the folks that you, again, would consult for, interview with, etc. And we'll show you how to build that team later on in our curriculum, right? And so we have our communications. And then, although it's later in the list, it's probably one of the first people that you want to really consult with, outside your coach, and that's your legal team. Your legal advisors, your general counsel, your business counsel, your attorney, right? So your legal team, your legal counsel is going to be another very, very important consultant in your organization, as they're going to make sure that you are covering all of your legal assets and all of the compliance involved, hiring practices, employee contracts, confidentiality agreements, non-compete, NDAs, right? All these things are what are you going to need, right? Because if you're running business and you're exchanging products and goods for some kind of commerce, or compensation, you're going to need at some point some contracts, right? You're going to need contracts. You're going to need invoices, which your financial team may create the invoices, but I will have legal look them over to make sure the invoices are legal and compliant. You're going to need terms and conditions on your invoices, right? You're going to need non-disclosure agreements, or called NDAs. You're going to need non-compete agreements if you don't want your staff or others to compete with you in a similar business after they learn your business model, right? You may need non-competes. This prevents folks from competing with you after they work with you. And just all kinds of other partnership agreements, JV agreements. And this is one of the biggest ones, unfortunately, because of my experience, and not that I don't have faith in you all, but because of my experience, I know that no matter how much I emphasize this, some of you just won't listen to me because you're the uncoachable. And if you are not an attorney with business practice experience or have a legal degree, you should not be creating these contracts for yourself, or just searching online and just using them, not even know how to read them or manipulate them or change them for yourself. It's not best practice. I understand it saves cost, but when you get sued, or when one of these is illegitimate or not practical, and then someone takes your business or your idea or your trademark, right? You got trademarks, copyrights, another thing we could add in here, right? But these are all different specific areas of legal and functions. It's just worth it to engage an attorney or legal professional who believes in you. We'll figure out the budget to be able to support those costs. But skipping the corners in regards to legal is probably one of the worst things you can do to end business. And then lastly, from a consultant standpoint, is the one I need the most is technology. which is cool. Be honest with what you're good at, what you're not good at. All types of technology, digital consultants, IT consultants, web consultants, software consultants, hardware consultants, what you need to run your business. Consult those professionals who can help you, right? And you can write those things down I just mentioned, right? Your digital, your web, your hosting, your servers, IT security, general hardware, softwares, and consult those consultants to see if that, looking at your business model, how much of this you need. Depending on the business, you may have a landscaping company, you don't need much consulting, but maybe you need it for some of your website. Maybe you don't need it at all, depending on your model. But again, keep the technology consultant in perspective based on your strengths or weaknesses. All right, guys, see you on lesson 7. Peace.